May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. You are trading with RT Money. Check it out. I'm going to go through the indices, gold and silver and oil. And we might as well just jump right into it. Why not? Okay, let's look at NASDAQ first. Very simple chart. You see the high. I don't know why I keep leaving that on. You see the high here. All right. We pull back and then we break that high with a break of structure there. Price dilly dallies here a little bit, goes into a bullish fair value gap, and then continues higher. Pull up higher, and then we have this nice little stretch last week. Uh, this one happened on Wednesday, and it created another bullish fair value gap, and that's what you look for because fair value gaps will tell you what the intentions of the markets are, which direction it's going to go. All right, and I base my strategy, my whole trading system on fair value gaps. Really. Uh, Now, I want you to notice something. Let me get the right thing here. All right, you'll notice that Friday's candle never did come in contact with the fair value gap. It never mitigated, you know, grabbed up orders or anything like that. But it continued bullishly. This might be a case where it was so close that it may have counted as a touch. I don't know. I don't know, but it left a very bullish candle that took the previous daily high, and uh, after price takes out a high, you expect some kind of pullback. If a pullback does come, I expect it to find support when it comes back to this fair value gap. We'll see how the week goes. Now, if price continues higher, this is because look, it's all time highs and it's going into no man's land. We don't have anything to base off targets or buy side liquidity, nothing. We don't have anything up here to map. So as price moves, it moves higher. I don't want to take buys from here. I have to wait till it gives a pullback. All right. I have to wait for structure. I have to wait for fair value gaps. If price does stretch out, maybe expands a little bit, I'll wait until another day until it creates another bullish fair value gap so that I can say, oh, well, if price comes back into that full value gap, I will continue. It'll probably continue higher. That's what I'll be using. You understand? That's the logic. Anyway, we can go on to the next one, which is the S&P. The S&P it had the basically had the same moves. All right, had a weak break of structure to the upside. All right, and price did pull back after it took out the swing high. It did pull back into a fair value gap here, right, and then took out that fair value gap and went lower to this fair value gap, right, which it did not close below. It continued higher. And but what I like to notice is just so you I could share it with you. This was the only candle that was a different color in this whole line, and price comes right back to it. Boom, and then fires off. I look for the opposing candles in legs of structure because that's usually where you'll find support or resistance. You understand what I mean? Anyway, you check it out as you keep trading and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so price continues higher, takes out another swing high. Boom. All right, get a little bit of a pullback here into a fair value gap. Price continues higher from that fair value gap, creating another fair value gap here. And price does, unlike the NASDAQ, does stab into the uh, bullish fair value gap. And you see the respect given to it. You see that big wick there. All right. So uh, when price opens up on Monday, there's some one, two, three, a couple of targets. three targets for price to continue higher for buy side liquidity. All right. I want to see a a, uh, a swing low formed here, and then I want to see price continue higher and sweep those highs. All right. So we'll have some targets. All right. Does that make sense? It seems to be pretty reasonable. All right. Let's go to the wicked sister. This is the Dow. All right. What I tend to notice is the Dow is doing something first of all, but you see these bearish fair value gaps being formed as price pulls back after attempting to take out the swing high and failing at it. This is a failed swing. All right. And if I start to see bearish full fair value gaps being formed on a failed swing high, then I'm turning bullish. I'm going bullish with that asset. And that's exactly what happened here. We started making bearish fair value gaps. Price does pull back into this fair value gap, but you see these candles. I just don't like trading this. I don't like trading this way. This is this isn't the kind of PA I would trade. And I should also get full disclosure. I don't trade the Dow anyway because it's nuts. It's nuts. It does things that the S&P and the NASDAQ don't. It just swings really wild and it's kind of unpredictable. But what I want to make you know, what I want to bring to notice is that in this stretch of candles, all right, this is like 2 weeks. There's no bullish fair value gaps being formed to support higher prices. What is being formed? What is being respected? Bearish ones, bearish fair value gaps. So there's more support for uh, bearishness than bullishness. So this is why I have a sell side liquidity target here at the swing low. All right, let's go to the next one, and this is DAX. Now I'm going to tell you full disclosure, I was wrong. I had DAX moving just like the S&P and the NASDAQ. We created a swing high, we pulled back, and price worked its way up and traded through that swing high. This created a bullish uh, break of structure. And I'm looking for price to pull back into this leg to find a fair value gap and then pull back to it and continue higher. That's not what happened. Price pulled back into it, tried, attempted to go higher a couple of times, and then fully took out this fair value gap. Just 100% closed below it and a strong close, and it created uh, a scenario where if price opens up on Monday, we're going to have a bearish fair value gap right here. We already have one here. All right. So price could pull back into either one of these and then continue lower. I am bearish on the DAX. All right. And we have a swing low target right here for price. So if price does uh, create another candle, a bearish, another bearish candle, it could be a bullish candle, but as long, if it doesn't go all the way up, if it doesn't go all the way up here, it creates another fair value gap. I'm looking for price to just bounce from there. All right, now I want to show you something. If we go to the 4 hour, this is why it's already created a 4 hour fair value gap, bearish fair value gap. We have one here as well. Okay, this at one time I used to trade all day, every day. Any order block that takes out an opposing area, buying area, or an opposing bearish order block, I would want to wait till price comes up and trade that. That's not that's not a bad principle, but it's a flawed one my humble opinion. All right, what I want to see is the fair value gaps. I want to base it on the fair value gaps. We have more support for lower prices than we do for higher prices. You understand? When I see bullish fair value gaps failing and the formation of bearish fair value gaps, I'm going. Of course, I'm going to be a bearish trader. I'm going to be looking for shorts. That's it. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, we're going back to the daily, and we're going to the next asset, which is oil. Now, oil is kind of tricky insofar as what did price do? Price, hey, come on, man. Who does that? Price made a lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we went to this consolidation where it's kind of expanding and taking out the highs, taking out the high, finally taking out the high, and then sweeping the lows, sweeping this low resistance liquidity run here into this bullish fair value gap. Now, I thought there was a good chance that this fair value gap would fail because price had penetrated so deep into it, but it did not. It did not. It held and pushed price higher. And what is the thing I want to notice with that is, sorry, what what you want to notice is the bullish fair value gaps led to another bullish fair value gap to be formed. This is hinting, in my opinion, price is going up. Okay, price is going up, and we are trading into this order block that was formed, well into it. All right, and here we are now dilly dallying at this bearish fair value gap. We've taken out price has failed. The bearish fair value gaps here and here. There was a small one in there, and this one is the one that survived. All right, and this is where price is now. This is price is consolidating. And when I see this consolidation, I'm thinking that there's a chance that we're going to see a manipulation of the lows coming back into the fair value gap, and then a breakout where the highs will be swept. I see this happen a lot, and I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. That's why I have this uh, swing low target here. All right, for next week, I'm looking at price maybe coming back into this fair value gap and then going higher. All right. We are dancing in between two fair value gaps, two opposing fair value gaps. Which one will win? This one seems to have more support. All right. But this one is in an order block, and we are knocking on the door a couple of times. So we'll wait to see what happens Monday and Tuesday. You don't want to just jump in on shorts or longs. Price is deciding which way it's going to go here. Let's be patient. All right. The next one is gold. Gold is a hard one. Why? Because you see how uh, uh, 2 Fridays ago, it had this very bearish candle, and it created a bearish fair value gap while it was seeking out all of this liquidity here, and it swept all of it. Boom, on a Friday, right? Got down to the very bottom, all right? And then after a swing high is taken out, you expect price to pull back. Well, it pulled back into a fair value gap. This is classic an external target being taken out and then price going to an internal target, which is the fair value gap. Okay. And that process is complete. Now, from internal, you go to external. And this is why I have this target set up, as the sell side liquidity target. This is a swing low. All right. And I'm looking for a price to go from the fair value gap, the bearish fair value gap, and continue downward. That it seems to be reasonable, and we have fair value gap waiting for it here, and then another one right beyond it there. So these are make fine areas to look to TP or take price too, in my opinion. All right. Should this bearish fair value gap fail with a close above, I'm definitely going to be switching my bias to bullish. But until that happens, I am bearish. Okay, and we got one more asset. Let me get out of that, and that would be silver. Silver, I've been watching for a good while. I took a couple of notes, but what I'm looking at is price is uh, making the higher high a higher low, a higher high, breaking the structure here, and then this corrective pattern towards I think the end should be a higher low like this one so that it can make the higher high. If price is going to continue to go higher, this fair value gap and this one, no less than this one, must hold for price to continue higher. Right? And this fair value gap has been tested. I said last week price would go lower. It did go lower here on Thursday, but on Friday it got new life, and there's a possibility because the end of this candle came to the 618 fib. This is OTE levels, right? And in this range, price came back below the 50 percentile uh, to the 618 and into discount. This is discount and this is premium prices. You want to take your shorts from premium price and you want to take your longs from discount price. Right? Discount prices of the trading range. All right. And here we are. There is a possibility, there's a potential for price to continue higher. I'm just making the notation, making the observation. All right, price came up, make that swing high into this fair value gap, and also the order block here, and made that move up there, and then we took out that swing low. It's a very shallow swing low, but it is a swing low with this candle, the Thursday candle. All right, and prices moving back to internal. All right, let's see where that internal uh, ends up because we may be heading right back to that same uh, what do you call bearish fair value gap. All right. We'll see. Will that high hold? I don't know. Will this low hold? I don't know. We'll find out in the first couple of days of the week next week. But I think there's potential for it. If price takes out the previous high with a strong close above that previous high, and we're going into this the wick of the swing high, okay, man. Uh, and I'm looking. I'll be looking for fair value gaps to develop on the 4 hour. If we see bullish fair value gaps in this swing of price that I just described in that scenario, it's I'll be looking for buys for sure. Yeah. Okay. I appreciate you spending your time with me and watching this video. If you like the video, subscribe to it and leave a like. And I will see you next week. I usually drop something during the week. All right, just be sure to check it out. Make sure you subscribe so that you can make sure you get my messages and notifications. May profits be upon you, and thank you.